temporary tattoos as favors?
She
the
said that
Mound House?
before already. It's the second
Hey,
time
Beth.
she's mentioned tattoos.
Like
I
mine?
want you all
Yes.
to know, I didn't tell you this, but these meetings are now being recorded on YouTube. I just wanted you to know that.
What did you say? I didn't hear.
I forgot
What
to
did she
tell
say? She
you.
just pushed the mic away.
So we do that for the transcribers to be able to look at the meeting and to be able to, and so if you want to see,
Hey, Becky, could you move, we're getting an echo. Thank you. Just leave it there. Okay, thanks. I'm sorry, what did you say? I didn't hear you.
so on the Town of Fort Myers Beach YouTube channel, you'll be able to review this meeting if you ever wanted to see what you said or who said.
dear.
But I'm telling you, it was really good because I've gone back to many town council and joint sessions to be able just to make sure that I remembered exactly what the directive was or to see what, what it was to begin with. So it's actually a very useful tool. So, yes, so this is our first meeting that we are going to be on YouTube. So.
This one? Oh, interesting.
To get back, it's a very simple thing, but I've been cleaning out a lot of stuff, and I came across a little classy box that my husband had, and it was a pen that was inscribed, a classy pen. I wonder if that wouldn't be something, that a real good pen in a little box, and it would have some kind of like the Mound House, I don't know, just Mound House, that somebody could clip in there. You can have a really nice pen, and if you
That's
use it a
expensive,
lot.
though. I mean, that could run a lot of money.
Would it?
I don't know. I would think that some expensive, really good expensive pens could be what?
Like a cross pen or something, with the
Yeah.
box and everything.
I'm wondering if that has the same resonance today as it did 20 years ago when pens really meant something in terms of the
A flash drive.
prestige, right? Because doesn't everybody just go buy Bics and throw them out and, I don't know.
I have a
everybody-
Mound House pen.
Everybody uses these, or I don't know.
That's true.
I think a pen now isn't really considered like a status symbol. It's not something. that-
There's my 90-year-old thinking.
No.
How about the proverbial watch, right? The retirement watch, right?
Yeah, but that made me think, how about a flash drive?
There you go.
That's always a welcome item.
Mouse
What did she
pad.
say?
No, actually, they're becoming obsolete.
Absolutely.
That is,
How many
Mouse
now?
pads,
How
yeah.
many? Yeah, that's true.
Yeah,
But it would be a pretty one.
yes.
It could be the sunrise and the house and, yeah.
Okay, I'll bring some ideas back to you and look at what Bill had left me for that.
Scarlet ibis.
Oh, yeah.
Well, actually, and I think we're going to be talking about, future meeting dates. But if you're talking about wanting to have a decision from CELCAB at a next meeting,
Well, I mean, but this can be done.
email?
We can do email, and I don't think it's a policy that needs an official vote.
That's right. Okay.
So I would think that if you all wanted to, if I could reach out to you that way it wouldn't be the only agenda item on the meeting agenda.
That works.
think so.
That works. Okay, board member items and reports. How about starting with Lori?
Well, I have been traveling so much this summer, I have nothing.
Oh, but you have many memories, darling,
I do.
memories.
Although I have been to many museums and other cultural experiences, and one of the things that I always like to see are temporary exhibits.
That's in the strategic plan for the,
Yeah.
that takes money.
Yes, it does. That's it.
My goal is for the Mount Key. They've done, and you'll see an article published soon that will, new information will reflect on the Mound House site and really would love to be able to get, even if it's small, to get something. Now, the Mound House doesn't really have, we could use the orientation gallery, I guess, but we don't really have a gallery for traveling exhibits. That's going to be, we could probably incorporate some things in if it was the right one, depending on what it is. I've been looking because they have really good exhibits in the state from the humanities and others, but I haven't really seen anything that would kind of fit where we are now, because we have our permanent exhibits in. But yes, I agree. Something different and new always attracts. So I would like for us to do maybe changing exhibits of our own to offer new information and experiences, and then we can have those travel once they're out of our hands, and they can travel, and while we create other ones. That would be my goal. But yes, I agree. I think they're a wonderful addition to any museum.
Okay. Allison, you earlier mentioned something about the Matanzas Preserve having their lecture series. Well, at the last lecture series, we had Nancy McFay, who was with the VCB. Everybody knows who she is. And I want you all to know that of all the people in that room, the one that she talked about the most was Seal at the Mound House. We should be very proud of the image that we have in the community, not only our own community, but, countywide. That she mentioned not once or twice, but probably a half a dozen different times. Oh, yes, and Seal at the Mound House, she kept bringing these things up. And it was a delight. It really was. And I was so proud to be sitting next to her.
So you were there and heard all of that. Oh, yes. It's just because in those days, when someone had to go out and talk, and because I talk so much, and I got it. That's why.
Yes, well, you obviously have done a great job at it, and I think that kudos must go to you for what you do, and the image that we have, not only here, but throughout the county. She was talking to us about the heads in bed, or beds in head. Heads in beds. Okay. And it's still early in the day, too, isn't it? And about the domestic locations that we usually draw from: New York, Chicago, Boston, Minneapolis, St. Paul. When you get into the, outside of our country, Canada, Germany, and the UK, she mentioned. But it was just fun because she's talking about all these other things, and then all of a sudden something will come up, and it'll be the Mound House and Seal. And so it was great. Anyway, we are going to have a couple more lectures. We've got Terry Kane, and we all know who Terry is. The big thing about her was the Lee County Land Stewardship Committee that she had up. And so she's going to be our next speaker. And let's see, I jotted down the date, September 10th. And then we are having former Lee County Commissioner Ray Judah. He's going to talk, of course, on water and environmental issues, and that's going to be October 8th. So that will kind of complete our lecture series. But they were talking about how about continuing on, and I think the feeling was that the reason that they had it this time of year was because they wanted the local people to be able to go to an event and participate. During season, when you have to sit an hour to get up the island, very often you don't go. So this was the time. So we are not going to, we'll do them again, but we will not be competing.
Yeah, I thought
during
that was a
season.
really good, because, we didn't do summertime, and it was just perfect, because they were putting on theirs for what they were going to do, and we take a rest in the summer for ours, so
Right.
I thought it was a good complementary program to continue those for the friends to do that for Matanzas Bass Preserve, yeah.
Well, we were talking about mementos, and I ran across something in a drawer of mine. Speaking of Becky's buttons in drawers, I got the same thing. I guess we all do. But I found the #1 keychain when we became a town. course, you know, you can come to my house, you'll find all those relics. So, anyway, it was just kind of fun to see that, and then to bring up now a memento that we would be interested in having people keep. So,
I really have very little. Just that I will not be here in October and September.
Okay.
So outside of that, and plus, we've had the school groups at the Mound House, and they have been fabulous. The staff's done a great job. And it's a sheer pleasure to help, so.
Thank you, Sharon.
We being Friends Endowment Committee, and that includes Rexanne and Bill Grace and Jim Steele and myself, we'll be meeting Tuesday to talk about plans for the endowment for the Mound House to sustain the future health of the museum. And so hopefully we'll be able to report to the Friends membership board, maybe October or September, October, Becky? Do you recall
October.
which of the months?
I think October's the
I
next
think it was
Friends meeting.
October meeting. So we're hoping to put together a draft of next steps and potential policies. And then hopefully we can get that in place. We're hoping at the Southwest Florida Community Foundation. So it's a really important step that the Friends are taking, and I'm happy to be involved. Thanks.
Well, I've had a couple of really neat times the past couple of months on my tours on Wednesday, 3 times, and I just could hardly believe it. It's that I've had children. When I say they were children here, now they're probably in their 50s or 60s, and they've come that had lived here when they were children. One, his father had a marina, and another had a lumber business, and they hadn't been back for some time, and they could hardly believe it. They, as children, always looked at the Mound House as something that they never could go to. And one said they would sneak up and that sort of thing. And it was just so much fun because they had come back and they had memories, but they did say they never thought it would be what it is today. So it was just charming. And in one family had their kids with them, and they were telling what they did, and it was so good. But also, when those children sat in that underground, I could hardly believe it. They listened and looked. I don't care what age they are, because sometimes we've said, oh, it's over their head. But no, I think today they can accept things that maybe years ago might have been.
Originally, I thought I really had nothing, but but I'm going to make something up. It's something that we used to have, and I know that, and may still, we used to have brochures in Spanish and in German. We still may have some of them. I know that the information is not really correct, but I also know that we now have a docent who I am pretty sure speaks German. And that, the idea that we could have maybe help with other languages, at least the easy ones.
Yes, so we do have those brochures still. I saved a stack of each of them. We have offered them to people who where English is not their primary language,
Right.
and they've actually turned them down because they want to practice their English. But we still have them in case anybody wants the brochure. In my past positions, we have had tours in German, Spanish, and French, and we always had somebody to be able, and believe me, I know who it is, and if we ever get a group that would like that, I would do that. But the interesting thing is that not all the groups, but many of them want the English tour because they want to brush up on their English when they're in the country to be able to communicate effectively. So, but yes, I do know about.
Are they at the desk?
They are in the museum store, so you
Okay,
just have
good.
to ask for them, because
Okay.
Karina keeps a stack, just in case somebody comes in, and we have offered, and nobody's taken them, but you never know, somebody might offer, somebody might want to take one, so.
I think oftentimes one person has translated to the other, but I also think of them as something to be handed out or to be read later on when they.
Yes.
And they look back and they go, oh, yeah, oh, okay, I remember what
Yes,
this is
yes.
about. So it,
We do offer them, so.
okay, that's
yeah.
great.
We've
Thank
had
you.
them since we've been open, but yeah.
Bill, do you want to add anything?
I don't have anything.
No, okay. So we can talk maybe about the next meeting date, and excuse me. I wonder, simply because we've now accomplished so much with the strategic plan and the operations plan and all of the documents
Zoning.
being up to date, our need to actually meet monthly. Would it be all right with everyone to maybe meet every other month? Just to throw that out there, and especially during season, now we're going to start getting traffic coming back. Your thoughts? I just want to hear some feedback from you.
I think we're required to meet quarterly
Well,
I
if
think.
that's right.
for the.
I think that's what, I can
I
check
think
with
that
the
that's
clerk.
up for the advisory committee. It seems to me that if we don't have business to conduct, don't meet, but if we do, we can kind of save that. Is it the 3rd or the 4th? Thursday? That we meet. Today's the 4th. Okay, so if we sort of save the 4th Thursday,
Right.
and then it gets called because we need something, and otherwise, no. I mean, those are my thoughts.
Yeah,
Well, and even if we have it every other month, it's still 6 meetings. So, I
Yes,
mean, if you
no, that
want
was-
to go to
right.
4, that works. Sherry, what
yeah,
are your thoughts?
I think that's ideal,
Yeah,
to be
I do
truthful.
too.
And if we don't have anything for every other, we can just say we don't, so.
So
Kind of up
Allison,
to
how does-
Allison, I would think, if you have need of us.
Yes, and that's what, I want to make sure everybody's okay. I can send the plaque out, the wording for everybody to say thumbs up on that. Anything, any giveaway or anything, and give an update, unless you all want to meet specifically about the National Register, just to be able to celebration, I can definitely do that. And we would need to meet next month if you wanted to do that. Otherwise, we would be meeting in October if you wanted to do every other.
Well, shouldn't we meet before that? Just to,
We want to meet in October. is what-
yes, yes. I would think so that if there was how we can help or what's to do.
Yes, so if we meet October 24th, which would be the 4th Thursday, it would be to finalize any last minute for our celebration and to do a final update.
Yeah.
Okay? Does that sound good to everybody?
Yes.
So we're not going to meet in September, but we are going to meet in October. And also do reach out to us, Allison, when we want to
Yes.
have this address label party.
Yes,
So we can
yeah,
get
correct.
we can all show up and help Allison get those
And,
invitations out.
yes, and I'm pretty much a stickler to doing it, I really like at least 6 weeks. I like to do the 6 weeks etiquette. Is that okay? I like
That's
to send them
Oh,
out.
yes.
Okay,
That's
so,
fine. You bet.
Allison, could I tell them about Jackie?
yes, please do. Yes, ma'am.
I call Jackie Horvath, Delisle's daughter, once a month, and also Betty Meyer, to keep them informed. Well, Jackie called and has been just months waiting for this, because she's 92 and she doesn't want anything to happen to her. To make a long story short, she's got her tickets for 6, her family. The brother that she found, because of the Mound House, he was doing genealogy. Their whole life of that family, they got together with her brother. Then he passed on, and they still keep and see regularly with his wife. So the wife is coming, and her sons and a daughter. She was had them over a few weeks ago to go over her will. And so before they left, she said, I want you to take something that could be a treasure from my place that you would like. All of them picked the picture of the Mound House. So she said, no, you know, what are we going to do? So I was to ask Allison if the artist could make smaller ones, 8 by 10 or something to that effect. But what the Mound has done for this woman and her family, that she now found out about her father and other families, is absolutely amazing, just amazing. And so it makes Jack Delisle, who is such a rascal, that really, but I just have to share you. So I want you to remember, be sure to search her out and her family, because she just feels like the queen bee, and I just think it's wonderful.
I have a question for you, Seal.
Yeah.
Do you think she would mind if I hit her up for those liens her father left on my grandfather's property?
That is wonderful. Oh, I think she has the humor. She would love it.
What was her first name again?
Jacqueline.
Jacqueline, okay, thank you.
Now, her son is a songwriter in Nashville.
Music industry in Nashville, and when they came down for the grand opening, he asked if he could be involved in any fundraising or anything that we needed, and I am going to make a formal request from him when I see him next. So he's very willing to help and wants to support the Mound House. So if we can't be a part of the Island Hopper Festival, then we may start our own.
Oh, excellent.
You bet.
That
Okay.
works.
You bet.
All right. Any other further business to come before the CELCAB group today?
Roxanne,
There
did you
being
want?
none, may I
Nothing
entertain a
from you?
motion to adjourn?
Okay. Okay.
Moved.
Thank you. Betty?
Yep.
Second?
Second.
Okay, motion carried. All those in favor?
Aye.
Meeting adjourned. Thank you all.
All right, thank you.
4:15, good meeting.
Yes, indeed.
Very nice. And thanks for not meeting in September. I've got so many. Yeah, that's great.
Well, to do it every other month. I mean, so much of what we've needed to do, like the
It's
strategic.
done, like you said.
You never had your cookies. And look at her beautiful planning.
Exactly, yeah. So I think it's great, but you guys will have fun, I'll be